This is a WMUR Commitment 2020 special in partnership with the New Hampshire Institute of Politics. Conversation with the candidate. Tonight, Tom Steyer.
Good evening and welcome to our Conversation with the Candidate series. I'm Adam Sexton and our guest this evening is Tom Steyer. Tonight we'll be getting to know Mr. Steyer and where he stands on key issues. At the start of our show, I'll be asking the candidate some questions. And then after a break, we'll have the studio audience ask their questions in a town hall format. But before we begin with that, let's take a quick look at the candidate's biography. Tom Steyer was born in 1957 and grew up in New York City. He graduated from Yale and got his MBA from Stanford. In 1986, he moved to San Francisco and started his own small investment firm, managing a new fund that was backed by two investors. During his career, he managed investments for universities, foundations, and individuals, and says at its peak, the firm's investments totaled $36 billion. In 2013, he turned to nonprofit and political advocacy and founded Next Gen America to combat climate change and increase voter participation. Steyer then started a push to impeach President Donald Trump through grassroots organizing and advertising. He and his wife, Catherine Taylor, have donated time and millions of dollars to charitable projects meant to advance educational opportunity for renewable energy and clean air and water. They've also given more than $120 million to building the Beneficial State Bank, which makes affordable loans to working people, small businesses, and nonprofit projects. Steyer lives in San Francisco and has 4 grown children. Tom Steyer, thanks for joining us on Conversation with the Candidate.
Adam, it's great to be here.
We appreciate your time. So you're one of the strongest voices out there against President Donald Trump, but you do also share some things in common. Outsider, businessman, billionaire. What do you say to those Democrats who are looking to draw even more distinction than you're able to draw in the form of a candidate who's either a woman or a person of color?
Look, I think what Democrats are looking for, I think what Americans are looking for, is a positive vision for the future that we can all turn to. And so I think that Mr. Trump actually pointed out something true in 2016, which is that most Americans think that this government is broken, that corporations have bought the government, that it no longer works of, by, and for the people. And I think people responded to that because I think he was telling the truth. Now, I disagree with him on virtually every policy. I find him personally repugnant. And as you know, I started Need to Impeach, which has more than 8 million citizens who've signed on to push for his impeachment and removal for office. But I think what America is still looking for is a positive vision for how we're going to go forward together and create a future that is better than any of us can imagine.
If you pay attention to what's coming out of Washington, and I'm sure you do, it looks like impeachment is a dead issue, even among Democrats. Some of them want the inquiry into impeachment. So why, from your perspective, keep pushing for that?
Well, it's funny because when you say it's a dead issue, I think the number of Democratic Congress people who have signed on to the idea there should be an impeachment inquiry, that's the inside the Beltway jargon, is 116 as of this morning. Almost half of the Democratic caucus, and 4 more joined on this morning. So actually, I think the funny thing is, I've been pushing for this for almost 2 years because it was obvious to me that this was the most corrupt president in American history, that he'd more than met the criteria to be impeached, and I was trying to tell the truth and stand up for the American people. And 2 years later, it actually looks like institutional Washington, D.C. has caught up with what I and 8 other million Americans were saying.
But it's a political process. The House could very well impeach the president with its Democratic votes. The Senate, the Republican Senate, will acquit. So why do it?
Well, I think people inside the Beltway, and that question implies that this is an inside the Beltway question. To me, there's something else going on here, which is I want the American people to see the truth. All of our research says when Americans see the truth, whether they're Trump voters or anti-Trump voters, they all say the same thing. I didn't know this was true. He's a liar and a cheat. And if I did that, I'd go to jail. And I want the American people, my push is to push power back to the American people, to let the American people take control of our government again, including impeachment. Have the televised hearings, let us all see, let the American people see. Do the right thing, tell the truth, stand up for the American people, and let the political consequences be what they be. That's what we should be doing, telling the truth and standing up for the American people.
Why did you change your mind about running for president? You were in Iowa earlier this year and said, not going to do it, and here you are.
Honestly, Adam, I really, excuse me, I'm running because I couldn't sleep. The two things that I really believe weren't being talked about hardly at all. One is the idea that our government has been bought by corporations, that we need to return power to the people to get any of these policy issues enacted. And the second is climate. You know, if you watched the debate last night, they hardly talked at all about climate. We're in a crisis. Since I've started running for president, I've said I would declare a climate emergency on the first day of my presidency. I would use the emergency powers of the president to deal with it if Congress didn't act within 100 days. And I would use this on day one to rebuild America's stature in the world, to reach out to all of our traditional allies, to all of our traditional counterparts, because this is a global problem, and to reassert American moral leadership, American technological leadership, and American industrial leadership around the world, because that's what it's going to take.
All right, Mr. Steyer, thanks for answering these questions. The really tough ones await, though, in the town hall format.
Adam,
thanks for doing this. And coming up after the break, we'll bring our studio audience into this conversation. Stay with us.